Hello, my name is Eric Scott, and I am going to undertake the task of attempting to explain to you what an SRT clearing is, or spiritual response therapy clearing. I've been an SRT practitioner for over 10 years. I've been a teacher of both SRT and spiritual restructuring for approximately 10 years. And my task here today, like I mentioned, is to tell you or speak to you about what SRT is. So many people really don't understand SRT, and that's okay. They think that SRT, sometimes I hear people say that they think SRT is about predicting their future and reading their tea leaves and that sort of thing, but it's much, much more comprehensive and does a great deal more from a spiritual perspective than people really understand. My purpose here is, once again, I'm going to try to define SRT and address what SRT does and doesn't do, mostly what it does. And if I don't mention it, just know there are more things that SRT does than I will have mentioned here today, but this just gives you a good general idea. So SRT, definition so to speak, is that it's a healing modality which accesses the Akashic records, which are the soul's history, so to speak, of everything that's occurred to the soul through its many incarnations, everything that occurs when it's not in a body, everything that's all listed out on the Akashic record. And what we're doing is looking at the Akashic record, so to speak, through spirit, because I can't see the Akashic record, but my higher self spiritual committee reads the record with the client's soul and the client's higher self spiritual committee. And we speak to mental, emotional, and physical issues which come about as a result of tens of thousands of past lives that we have all experienced. Mostly in SRT, what we identify are past life issues, we identify present life issues, as well as future life or planned issues that we intend to experience later on. But you've heard me say the word issues about 100,000 times already, and where do these issues come from? Well, like I said, we incarnate tens of thousands of times, and so we have many, many past lives, and many times we learn in those past lives from a place of negative or discordant energy. I mean, think about it. If you're driving down the road in the morning going to work, how many other people in other cars do you see that are smiling? Not a lot of happy people out there, and unfortunately we should all be smiling, and we won't have to do this incarnational dance over and over and over again, because we learn from those from a place of joy, and I'll go more into that in a few seconds. But we also have present life creations. These are patterns of negative or discordant energy which are created by authority figures, our parents, our teachers, politicians, whomever. Also imprint on our subconscious mind negative or discordant, as well as positive things, but what we're really worried about here are the discordant energies which affect us. And we also plan for future experiences that we intend to learn from. Now, why do we incarnate? Well, there's usually two major reasons why we incarnate. The first one being to learn and grow spiritually and to assist other souls in their growth. Understand that of all the souls in existence, which is just an incredibly large number, but of all those souls, only 1/3 of them actually go through the incarnational experience. You can't get your complete education only in the spiritual realm. There's 1% of spiritual learning which we're supposed to pick up by incarnating. Through that incarnational process, eventually we get to the place where we can participate with spirit in the creation process. And as you know, the all that is constantly expanding and growing. So, but we learn and grow spiritually is the first reason. The second major reason is that we incarnate sometimes solely for the purpose of assisting other souls in their growth, acting in a particular role to help them learn and experience whatever it is they're going to learn. Now, excuse me, we can also learn, or we can also incarnate because of both reasons. Okay, so we can learn and grow spiritually ourselves while we're assisting other souls in their growth. Now, how do we incarnate? Well, as a soul, not yet in a body, or not in a body again, I should say, we review our own soul records and say, okay, well, I learned this lesson from a positive place, but here's a couple of lessons I learned from a negative or a discordant spot, and I created programs, and I got to go back and learn from joy. So we contract with other souls to play out those different roles like I mentioned earlier. Not only that, we choose the galaxy that we're going to incarnate to, we choose the planet. Different planets have different dimensions of incarnation that you can learn very specific lessons from. We also choose our parents, we choose our name, we choose all sorts of things. Thing of it is, we are pretty much writing our own script for our incarnational experience. So, learning from joy, I want to go into that just a little bit more, because by learning from joy, we learn our lesson and we don't have to repeat it. If we don't learn from joy, well, what happens is we create what we call a program, which is nothing more than a pattern of negative or discordant energy. That program imprints in the Akashic record and has to be repeated until we learn from joy. Now, I'm going to shift gears a little bit and go into an initial SRT clearing and kind of break it down for you. There are three major steps or phases in the clearing. The first step is what we call a prep to work, wherein we clear and optimize both our higher self spiritual committee in terms of making sure that it's fully cleared of all programs on all charts, as well as the higher self spiritual committee for the client is prepared to work by making sure that it is cleared as well. And once both spiritual committees are cleared of all programs on all charts and are what we call prepared to work, and there's literally thousands of things which go into the prep to work. Thankfully, we don't have to go down a checklist to make sure we get them all. We just basically ask for them. Once that's all ready to go and we are fully prepped to work as well as our client, then we can move into the research and clear process or phase. And this is where we spend most of our time and do most of the work. In the research and clear process, what we're finding are programs of negative or discordant energy. Certainly there are many programs of positive energy and places of joy and wonderful lifetimes that we've experienced. But we've also experienced, some not so fun lifetimes where we had a lot of discordant energy and programs established. And so what we're finding are those. We're finding those programs, then we research them and clear them. And it's not me, it's just I'm just the middleman. All I'm doing is swinging the pendulum over 36 charts and asking the questions. Spirit does the real work by shifting the learning experience. What happens is if we identify a program of say failure, if it's a failure program, Spirit finds the first lifetime in which that particular program was established, shifts the energy from a negative or a discordant energy to a positive and joyful energy. And when that happens, it sort of sets up a dominoes effect for every single lifetime in which that particular program was activated. It shifts the energy in each of those lifetimes as well, and that's how we feel the shift and change through our cellular memory. And so we go through and find in this second phase of the SRT clearing all these programs to research and clear. Then we go into the third phase. Once we've found, researched, and cleared all the programs we can find, we go into the mop-up or wrap-up phase. Here is another, literally thousands of things are done, but basically what we're doing is we're doing some high-level tweaking, so to speak, to optimize the soul's experience and to give it a clearer understanding and a clearer operational set, if you will, for working with spirit. But those are the three major phases, and that's really a Reader's Digest condensed version of what goes on in an SRT clearing. There's two classes. There's a basic and an advanced SRT class where we put all this together and really dissect each of those three phases in much greater detail, so you know better what you're doing. And then after we've done an initial clearing for someone, quite often, well, almost always, people need follow-up clearings, and the reason is that if we could use the analogy of a large onion that's being peeled, there are many, many, many layers on an onion. So in the initial SRT clearing, we clear several layers. Many layers are cleared, but there's still layers of that onion which remain. And life has a tendency to bring those layers to the surface. Life experiences, past life memories, all sorts of things play in to triggering another layer of programming. So what I've done is I've put together a program I call the Daily Clearing Program, whereby my clients all receive anywhere from 1 to 3 general clearings every single day throughout the year. It doesn't matter if it's Easter, Christmas, weddings, birthdays, whatever. I do a general, at least one, anywhere from 1 to 3 general clearings for my entire daily clearing list. Now what this does is it takes care of kind of the day-to-day clutter issues that pop up. It clears away any discarnates we may pick up, and we can pick up discarnates just walking down the street. It's really no big deal, and they're very easily removed, but it needs to be done from time to time. And so, like I say, I've put together this daily clearing program for people who've had an initial SRT clearing and need to feel the need to clear away the stuff that comes to the surface subsequent to the initial clearing. So what have we learned today? Well, I've done sort of a Reader's Digest condensed version definition of SRT. We've discussed where the issues come from. We've discussed why we incarnate. We've discussed kind of very briefly how we incarnate. We talked about learning from joy. We've also taken the clearing and dissected it into the 3 major subheadings of an initial SRT clearing, as well as talking about follow-up clearings. So if you have any questions at this juncture, or if you would like to have a clearing done, all you need to do is contact me for a free consultation at this website listed right here, srtnow.com/freeconsultation.htm, and that will take you to a page in one of my websites where you can fill in the blanks and tell me what your issues are, and I'll send you an email back letting you know what I think we can do. And then the next one, next line down here that's my email address or my telephone number if you feel as though you would like to speak with me on the telephone. In any case, I'm always happy to hear from you, and I'll be glad to clarify anything that I didn't make clear in this presentation. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you and working with you in the very near future.